So today we're going to talk to you guys about the role of international debt in development economics. To start off, we're going to give a definition of what foreign debt is. Foreign debt is an outstanding loan that one country owes to another country or institutions within that country. Foreign debt also includes due payments to international organizations such as the International Monetary Fund or the IMF. The debt may be comprised of fees for goods and services or outstanding credit due to a negative balance of trade. Total foreign debt can be a combination of short-term and long-term liabilities.
We're going to be talking about external debt as opposed to internal debt. Internal debt is a part of total debt in a country that is owed to lenders within the country. Internal debt poses less burden to the country because people simply owe it to themselves and not somebody else. External debt is part of the total debt in the country that is owed to creditors outside the countries, like IMF, the World Bank. External debt involves a net subtraction from the resources available to people in the debtor nation.
So, you may be wondering what the effect is of debt on developing countries. The first is that resources and money are allocated to repaying their debt. Therefore, it is not used to meet the needs of the people. And that kind of creates a poverty cycle. Secondly, capital flight occurs when firms or individuals speculate on the prospect of earning a higher return abroad. Thirdly, net capital inflow reduces dramatically. And lastly, many of the developing countries experience net outflows of money, meaning that they actually pay more to the developed countries than they originally received from them. Therefore, the poorest nations send a substantial part of their income to the richer countries.
So inflation also affects external debt. Inflation can affect the external debt of a country due to the depreciation of the currency, making it harder to repay that debt in the future. As inflation increases, the relative amount that the country has to pay is less because it is paying off debt with inflated money. This may lead to further borrowing of money and the accruement of debt.
So there are several policies that can be used for developing countries to counter the effects of inflation, which are increasing aggregate supply or decreasing aggregate demand. For a developing country, decreasing aggregate demand will not be the best course of action, and increasing aggregate supply will counter the effects of inflation as well as increase the output. For instance, developing countries can obtain new technology to increase aggregate supply, which may have a trickle-down effect from private investors, so they will attract more foreign direct investment. This will result in a capital outflow, and other foreign firms may gain control of the domestic market to some extent.
Debt may rise in a country as a result of external and internal conflicts, such as wars. For example, the conflict between the Afghan government and the Taliban. The internal conflict causes large amounts of government money to be spent on the war. Afghanistan then must acquire foreign aid, which they cannot pay off. 3/4 of Afghanistan's GDP is comprised of foreign aid. Other reasons why debt may arise are price shocks to the economy, natural disasters such as the earthquake in Haiti. In the earthquake, Haiti had to spend money that it did not have to help repair the damage that the earthquake caused. Further reasons why debt may arise are artificially high exchange rates, where countries increase the value of currency to reduce the price of imports, but it halts exports, a lack of infrastructure, or corrupt governments.
There are some policies that can be used to counter the effects of debt in LDCs. One is the Multilateral Debt Relief Initiative. This provides 100% debt relief for a number of heavily indebted countries where traditional debt relief would not make debt sustainable. Reducing or totally forgiving debt could therefore help to reduce poverty and free up resources for other uses, such as education and infrastructure. Both of these are positive externalities of consumption. Improving infrastructure is of course essential to increasing output in the long run, and a more educated population increases quality of life.
Boom.
Reagan Bush administration. Out.
All right, we're done.